This thing takes a while. All right, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, back. Robert Williams here, and going to continue where we left off from the recent video on the American Airlines backtesting. Realized a couple of things. Video wasn't showing, so you didn't see my funny expressions or whatnot, but I'm going to kind of get right back into it. So I'm picking up pretty much where I left off, and where we left off was this incredible gap up of the following day, after we had exited on our trade pretty much here, and then the next day it gaps up, opening up 7% high and just making its run. And you know, we exited about $1.10 after getting in at 31 cents, and now this bad boy is at $3.35. You know, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Now, for some additional disclaimers, I forgot to mention in the video, but I put it in the description link, is that this trade setup is from a trading course, not a trading course, but a trading investment company called by the name of Tradeway. They're based out of Dallas, Texas, a Christian-based trading company that helps and educates individuals on all aspects of trading, especially in the options and doing advanced option plays. And this setup of utilizing the 30-minute chart was from one of their coaches, Mark Wilburn, who did a workshop, and it was a good way to be able to select your entry for particular trades. So it's really about the entry on this 30-minute chart of where to get in and to know that you're in that right direction, after obviously knowing and taking a look at the daily, right? So just wanted to make sure I gave that shout out and disclaimer. I didn't create this setup. I'm not that smart, but I do like to utilize it for entries, and backtesting it after, you know, a year or so after learning about it, it's like, I should have probably been done that, but I didn't. All right. So here we are with the following day. If we go ahead and continue, actually what I need to do too is set a timer to see how long I would have been on here talking, because that's the other thing I'm totally unaware of, is how long we've been here. Let's do stopwatch. All right, but let's continue on with the trade. So as we did in the last thing, we were at, we went really from July 1st to now we're at July 12th, where this bad boy gapped up. And now it's like, obviously we've missed it on this, we missed this marvelous, right, exceptional run, to where when I took you to the Excel sheet when we left off, we would have been looking at, if we sold it at the 330, man, a 900% ROI, taking your $500 investment, making it, you know, 4,784. It's ridiculous. But we missed that. And that's what's going to happen in trading. And that's the stuff that works in your psychology, right? So let's dive into it though some more. Let me actually take a look at something. I want to make sure that my video is recording at a good rate. Touch up my appearance. Do I need touching up? HD, narrow video. All right, so we're good. I do apologize if it comes out to be poor quality. I got you. So let's see, where would this bad boy stop at? All right. Let me bring this over here to the left now. This is blocking my tool. So let's throw up a Fibonacci line, and we are pretty much, it has done its 100%. Thank you. It's pretty much done its 100% retracement back to this high, right? But one thing I've also been learning too is utilizing Fibonacci retracements for knowing where the future price target is. So this wasn't high. This was a swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, and now we're at this swing high. So the last swing high really was this one that it broke through. And if you want to utilize that one as your retracement area, typically you would see that after it breaks that 100% line on the Fibonacci retracements, it's going to go to the 161, and it's there. Like, it's there here in the morning. So, and which is pretty much the 100% retracement if we did this line, right? So this means that if it's hot to try and it's going to do a full retracement of this move, which it has, you could say that your next expected, long-term, your long-term target to be the 161, which will be up here at 38.86. But now we're just in the middle as far as EMAs go. We're just in the middle zone here between the 50 and the 100, the 50 EMA and the 100 simple moving average. So at this point, what could we expect? Based off the Fibonacci retracements, I would suspect a pullback. It broke through the 50, and now it should be, if this Fibonacci line and this resistance zone here that has some areas here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know about this one. Maybe it can get up here to 34.24, 70 cents more. Then it could you can get there, and it may have a retracement back down to the 78 line, which is the back to the 50, and then use that as support. We don't know. So all we can do really at this point is just let's bump out some hours on the back test and see what's going to happen here. Let's see what happens on the chart. And actually, I'm going to go to 945. Let's see what's going on. Great movement. Does it continue or does it flatten? So looking like it's continuing up. That high was 34.04. So it's definitely at that 34. All right. No need in chasing. I don't think we're going to get an entry. Let's go to 1246. Wow, that bad boy says I'm going to the 100. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at what we missed out on. Now, you could have been one to go ahead and hop in, right? Like the next day, since we exited here, you could have said, oh, I'm gonna hop in right here and ride it more since, I'm gonna get back in. You could have done that, and that's all good. It would have been a 30% ROI at that point because you would have got in at like $3. Now it's at 4 something. So that would have been 30%. We just missed out on we missed out on the massive move. But that's what happens in trading. All right, let's go to the next morning, because pretty much all we can do now is just find where it's going to this 8 and 34 EMA is going to cross, and this thing dies out. So now we're here the next morning, and we see a zone here and some type of pullback, and we may see ourselves with an opportunity to enter on the put side. So let's go out 2 hours. And what we're just going to pretty much do is continue to do this. It's all about continuing to do this. So, so we have a higher high, and we don't quite have, this is a low, and now we're below that low, but we also need to see that 80 EMA cross. So let's go out to 10 o'clock. And it's using this as a higher high. Move up there. True that. Let's go to 12. We're going to just continue to do this. This is backtesting. So we have a higher low, but now it looks like we have a lower high. Okay. Next day. And it says, nope, I'm going to create a higher high, and I'm going to go all the way to the 100. Wowzers. Nice. 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 Okay. 6, the 8 o'clock time frame. Goes to there. Mhm, 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 mhm. It's not ready to give up. Um, higher high, higher low, not higher high, lower low, lower high, higher low, lower high, lower low, higher high, stall out, looks to be facing at the 100. Is it saying it wants to just surpass it, or is it saying that it's really sellers are stepping in? Hmm. Dude, so it looks like it's making this move up. So if I may interject in this particular point here, what we are also looking at here is um, not necessarily a point to say, okay, it's time to go ahead and enter in on another call here. You could take a gander at that, right? Because you do have essentially like the higher high, higher low. You created a lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high. So you could say, okay, and there's no crossing, but they were the 8 and 34 are pretty much very close here to where you can say, okay, now it's just giving me better setups to continue with the call movement. But I'm really looking like considering though the fact that you're here at the 100 simple moving average on top, what would it typically do here at this area of resistance? And we got this flat line. Um, and the next area target is definitely this move up. So I guess if we see something significant of a move up, then we could say, okay, our next zone really is 38, where this gap was, which is a $2 move. And it's nice, but we're at the 100. And so that could really be that resistance area that could be holding us back. So let's go out 2 more hours. But that's something that you could consider based on your trading and your thought process, right? I'm particularly looking for them to cross to head back down. But it's not to say that you can capture a newer move looking further out to go back up after the EMAs have come in so close to each other. So let's see here what we got. It looks like this thing is just flattening out for the day, but not really creating a lower low. But it's just flattening out, flattening out, flattening. and it's a doji at an EMA pivot point, I would expect to see this move down tomorrow. But since we have no entry point set up, I'm not going to make a move. Moves down, touches the 5 EMA. So we have definitely a new lower low. And this low breaks all of the lows from yesterday, and then it's pretty much at the low from the day from 2 days ago. This low is 35.32. This low is 35.33. And then we do have the 8 crossing under the 34 EMA. Let's go out an hour. Ooh, I said let's go out an hour, and this thing stayed at 7. All right, so it's still flat. Still very much so flat. It's about 2 hours now. Super flat. Super duper flat. Something needs to happen. Is it a resting day? I mean, what is going on here? It's not telling us nothing. So any entry at this point would be speculative, even though we do have the lower low and we don't have a higher high. Everything's been kind of a lower high here. I say this thing is going down, just like it did here, but I think it's going down. Just a retest down here, in my opinion, just a retest. Let's go to the next thing. 6:45. See, here's where this thing is screaming. Look, it did the 12:48 again, even though you saw me type in 6:45. So let's see what happens here. We're not going to go back through this, but it stayed flat, popped up, created a higher high, higher low, lower high. Now we're back at a lower low, and we're really seeming to get that cross here. Let's see if it's going to happen still. All right, this time, go to 6:45. This time, go to 6. Bruh, on the 21st. But look at that. So we had the cross, and the next morning it opens and it breaks all those lows. All right, so now we have our cross, we have our higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, lower Lizzo. And you could say like this was your lower high from the previous day. So this is an entry point. Now we have the 10 as potential support, but it's almost like paper, it can fall through. And we would be expecting to go back to 33.50. The price we're at right now is 35. So let's go ahead and look at the option chain. So we are currently here on this Thursday, definitely not tomorrow, but we'll look to the 29th, which is a week out. And we are looking for 33.50, right? 33.50, yeah, we're looking at 33.50. So that's that. I think I can get 11 of these. Yep, put us at 11. Let's go ahead and enter that. Bam, we got it at 42 cents. again, we're only spending about $500 on the trade. Let's move out 2 hours and see what happens during the day. See if there's like a full recovery. All right, so we have some pullback. Maybe the 10 has acted as the support there. All right, so we see some pullback, but we created a lower low. All right, low, high, low, high, low, high. Still in play to go to have a lower high to then a lower low. And we have a week, we have actually pretty much the whole day too to see this, to do this workout. So let's go 2 hours out. All right, so there we go. Lower high. Now continue to move back on the lower low. Towards the lower low and get here to here, right? This is our target is here. And let's go 2 more hours out. I'm expecting to see this thing move down. All right, so we created a lower high. And we just create a lower low, pulling back to probably create another lower high. Again, I forgot to put this onto, my bad, y'all. Forgot to put this on our blue section. So now we have the right options chain over here. All right, so we got in for, can't remember what the price was. We got in at 42 cents, now it's at 46. So nothing today, right? Nothing today on this trade. So let's see tomorrow morning at 6:45. You better be at 6:45. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, what in the world is this? Oh, earnings. I guess what, typically we wouldn't be trading any earnings. But earnings gap up for your mama. Did all that in pre-market, peaked at the high in pre-market. Now it seems to be falling. And our trade is like shot, right? You're at 70% loss. But it's so early. Let's see what happens in an hour because it's falling right. It hit right there at the pretty much at the previous high, and it's falling. So yeah, obviously we didn't expect that on the earnings, but whatever. Let's go an hour out. Jerk. Didn't do it. Let's go an hour out. It hit the 8 EMA, and it seems to be making its way back up. This is how you know, for the most part, this is probably all shot. So let's go ahead and take our L right now. At 8 cents. Bananas. So that was a loser. But now we can also be looking at it on the flip side from a, now we can be switching our gears and saying, okay, everything else seems to be putting into play for it to continue to make its move up. So we're out of the, we're out of our put play. Let's get into our call because we created a higher high that broke all of these from that day and the day before. Now we have a lower, a higher low, which is definitely higher than all these lows. So where's our target? Shoot, that's the tough part. Where is the target? My target tells me, based on the Fibonacci lines, is looking like it is 38.86, but definitely to our previous high, which is not much. But if we want to at least go a dollar move from where we're at 36, we would be going to 37. And since we're here on the 22nd, we would look a week out on the 29th to go to 37. So let's go 37. And this would give me, I think it was about 16 last time. 14. There you go. Go ahead. Let me just enter into that one. So now we're on the upside looking to get up at least to 37 bucks. And let's see what it does an hour later. Because, you know, earnings could be tricky. It could still be a fall. Like I said, it could still be a fall. Actually, let me put this on the blue. Let's go to it. No, it's not. Okay, so the 8 looking like it's acting as that support. It's going to continue to come moving up on our 30-minute chart. So higher high, looks like that was our higher low. Let's continue to, let's say, all right, let's continue to push up here. Let's see if it continues to do that. 2 hours later. Dude, 2 hours later. All right, so we're pushing back up. But we're still at an interesting predicament, right? This could easily still fall tomorrow. We're at 19% profit on here. What we got going on over the weekend. We don't know market. We don't know what happened in the market overall. And you're looking at like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, so looks like it's about to breach that higher low that we had. And if it breaches that higher low at that 35.80 mark, then we would be saying to ourselves, we need to be out, which it looks like it's like going to do. 35.78 zone. But then our 10 is right there as a potential support for us as well. Let's go out an hour. All right, so it broke that. And it looks like we're going to be getting that cross in a moment. But we're here at the 100. Pretty much here at that 100 line. Let's give it one more hour, see if it utilizes that as some support. And if it doesn't, we're out. All right. So we seem to get some type of bounce there. But we also have our cross. We also have our cross. Where are we sitting at now? We're at a 44% loss. Okay. We look like we seem to be making our way back up. So this is where the park is going. So now we have a lower low, lower high, cross. I'm not feeling too confident about this one anymore. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our L again. And right back at it. So let's see here. Let's see how it looks towards the end of the day. And we may want to enter in the opposite direction and say, okay, you know what, it's really going to fall at this point. All right, so it's making it's like it's making its move. A break above the 100, a pull back to the 10, pop back above the 100, and now it's right here again. The question is, could this be creating a higher low, or tomorrow will we expect it to go lower again? So we have the high, higher low, not a higher high. We had a lower low, lower high, and we're in the middle. We don't really know right at this point. If you want to get like, all right, let's see if we really know. Let's go 5 minutes before the market closes and see what it says. It ain't told us nothing different. So let's see what does next morning. All right, so now we have a not a higher high yet, but this looks to have been that higher low. Let's go an hour out. Didn't change. Whipsaw action there. It's decision making time. So it did create at the higher high. It did create a more of a low. Okay. And we look like we have crossing. This is the boring part about back testing. Patience to see all this stuff. Don't worry. Fast forward this part forward. Decision, man. All right, now we got a decision being made here. So we have, this is our lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, cha-cha-cha. Now we're breaking to the higher high. We seem to be getting some movement to continue to move up. And again, I want to go for that dollar move. So this time we were at here, I think, let's go for 37.50 in this case. So really going to there, 37.50. We're here on the 26th, so we're going to go to August 5th. And we're going to go to 37.50. So actually, contracts. Right there. Enter again. All right. Back at it. So we're expecting it to get to. Let's see what happens in the last hour of that day trading. All right, we're still moving up nicely. So this is working in our favor. We need to break this that was in pre-market. And then it seems like we'd be off to the races even more. So let's take a look at the next day. This doesn't look good. Or it could be our higher low. So let's just continue to rock with it. Let's take a look at it 2 hours from now. We have time, right? We have at least 8 days. Seems to be failing us here. Let's go out 1 more hour and see what happens. We look to be getting that cross, but we haven't created a lower low yet. We haven't created a low that's lower than that one. It seems to still just be riding the 5 EMA. Let's go 1 more hour. And if we get, I mean, if it's an expense, it's an expense. Okay. Cross. But it hasn't broken those lows. What are we at on 25% loss here in this case? All right. Hour. Do it. That fan sounding is like that's my computer. All right, so we still didn't break that low. It seems to be moving up. Why are you not acting right now, Thinkorswim? I need you to go into 12. Let's see what's the pressure. We're gonna see more. And no. So we have the higher high, then we have came down, created a low, lower high. Now we have the lower low. And with that, now it's broken the low from the previous day. Now this could be very temporary. So you're saying to yourself, we're about to get that cross too, right? We have that cross of the EMA. So we could be saying to ourselves, all right, you know what? I don't know if I want to stick in it. I'm at a 40% loss on this one again, right? So this would be the 3rd one in a row that is eating away at those profits that you made recently. And you got a wick there. You can give it 1 more hour. And I'm not saying give it 1 more hour because I want to see it work. I just want to be sure. It's all about the numbers, right? It's all about the numbers of performance of how you're doing the trades too. You got to do a whole set of them. You got to do a whole set of these numbers, whole set of this setup. So it's pulling back up. Sideways. I mean, it's slower because I'm going only by the hour, so you don't see much change a bit in these things, but we're looking to possibly exit out for a loss. So we're going to be checking every hour. Just like wedging. 10 o'clock. All right, some movement here. Boom, 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 boom. Movement. Can we get to there? You gotta be patient with things. That Desmond Dennis. All right, so look, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low. Are we creating a higher high? We're going into Friday. Let's see what it does. Now we have some pop-up movement here. So we've broken the high of this day, the high of that day, because that was pre-market. We're at the high of 2 days ago, 36.74, 36 high. So we're higher than that. We're right below that recent high. We should expect to move up, right? So let's go 2 hours out. That sound that you heard there was the bell from the actual stock market for today. And so now it looks like we got a total psych out. Like we got faked out big time here. So as you can see, this sideways movement is not working for us. It's definitely not working for your contracts. Like in the morning, we were at 35. Now it's all the way down at 17. So we have sideways movement, but here's the thing again, it didn't break this low. And we do have a cross, but this seems to be definitely more prominent. So go out 1 more hour. I would imagine, you know, I imagine in the day you're kind of frustrated and you're like, I'm ready to just exit, you know. It's flat. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm sort of exit. But I still have some time. We have a whole week. All right, we've broken that low right there. Bam, we broke the low, and it seems like we're going to be going down. Another 72%. Just eating away at all that profit. I'm not saying it's a perfect one. You could be saying, you know what, I would cut my losses way sooner than that. And by all means, cut your losses way sooner than that. But this is the purpose of backtesting, to test and take a look at this stuff. Again, at the end of the day, you know, these are what the trades were, you know, I showed you what the trades were looking like. So now too, here we are again, all right, so we have all this time here that we couldn't break. We had 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 days, 6 trading days over 2 weeks where it couldn't really get up further. And now we have a break of that, higher high, but now we have lower low, lower high, lower low. I would expect for this thing to go lower some more. Or it could stop and sit here. We have volume that's decreasing. I don't think we have anything on the Fibonacci lines, right? I'll go from there to there. We really have nothing on the fib lines. I was expecting it to giddy on up. After this, I was expecting it to get there. That was the expectation from that candle, but volume has dried up too. So where would we go if we want to go on the downside? Definitely 35.11 for the 100. And then after that, I would be looking at 34.60. So at least a dollar move, we would go 34.50 on the put, right? So let's go 34.50 on the put. We are on Friday. We can do next Friday. So 34.50. Yes, these are all out of the money puts too. 18. 17. And of course, in your trading, I mean, you don't have to be trading this aggressively. You're like, I don't put in trades like that after the day. I need to walk away. Me too. I walk away from the trade. I'm gonna go 2 hours out and see what happens. I walk away from the trade when I can. When I'm like, oh man, I'm taking a loss. I need to step away. And as you read, I don't have it in front of me, Market Wizards. That's what a lot of them said. They're like, man, I had to just step away because Paul Tudor Jones, a lot of people say I just need to step away from the market because obviously things are not going in my favor. You need to take that break. So we have that it still moved down on our trade that we're in. It says which trade that we're in. It still says we're lost $1. Okay, so let's see if it has to push down over the weekend. Let's see what's going on. All righty, so we got some good movement like that. In the pre-market, it hit up on the 34 EMA, but at its continual push down, and it really pushed it down to the 100 simple moving average. So will it act as support? We don't know. It kind of has here already, but that's a big candle for some move down, right? That's a big wick on even both sides. So let's go and let's move just an hour out and let's see what continues to happen. I don't know if it's my internet that's acting janky. All right, so we seem to be getting some support there, but that's a lower low. So what's the high that it has to break? This high and this high. It has to break this high and this high. Okay. Let's break this high and this high. Let's go another hour out. All right. So it seems like maybe the 8 EMA is pushing it down still. Pushing it down. And we got to see if it's going to start to fill in this wick down here. Fill in that wick. All right, starting to fill in that wick so we can have a bigger body of a candle here. All right, we're at 9:45. This hasn't updated quite yet. It still has a loss, as a positive, but it's small. Let's continue to see if we're pushing down. All right, now we should. All right, so we didn't create a lower low. We created a higher low with this wick. Seems to be bouncing up. Seems to like that 100. Seems to like that 100. Let's see if it can get back up to here. Let's see if it can get back up to pretty much where we had bought it. And then we'll exit out. Right here. So it hasn't gotten back to this area where we really had purchased it, right? And it's to still be our fulfilling prophecy of a lower high, and it can still continue to fall. But we do have the doji here at the 100. So how do you really play this? And we'll talk about this and then I'll be done with this video. But how can we really play this? Let's take a look at our past trades. And we're even at an L on this one. So it'll be a loss. That would be 4 losses in a row if we do take this one, which would have eaten up pretty much at all of this profit here. These L's are already were hurting and hurting. And now we take another one here, right? So still profitable overall in our position of our $10,000. But sometimes you just have these streaks of where you can't get it right. You had it right some of it, but you can't get it right all of it. And so now you're at a position based on this, based on the setup of the 30-minute chart, there's nothing wrong with it for it to be broken yet. So it can still fully go for you in your favor because it's not broken yet. We don't have a cross. We really didn't break the highs of the day, which is up here. We didn't break the previous highs over here, but you could be saying, man, this thing is dragging. It's dragging. And I don't feel like watching it, seeing it drag. And that's legit. It just sometimes you got, it's really up to you at this point about your trading strategy and how you feel about it. And if you're frustrated at the last few that you've been in that were losses, I would say you're definitely, to feel like you want to exit because you just want to minimize this loss at this point, by all means, you'd be so right in doing it. If you said, I want to still see if it can continue to push down, I think you would still be so right in doing it. So what do? We got a doji on the daily. It's right above the 100. It's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days above the 100. It's right at the 10 EMA. And it looks like it wants to fight back. Again, I don't know what was happening around the market at this time. So here's the deal. You take an L, or you take an L and cut the loss. And if it opens up tomorrow higher, you're really glad you did it. Or you wait to see what happens more. And if it can continue to push back down. And if it does, then you're happy you did it. So we're going to leave it right there for right now. Pause. We're going to leave it there for now and come back for the next video and see what decision I made. I kind of already know my decision, but come back for the next video. All right, so with that, again, thank you guys for joining me. Close that because the market's closed. Robert Williams, the emotional trader here. Appreciate you guys. Didn't even end off the last video, which is what I normally say, but continue to live, think, and be unstoppable. Until next time, see you guys. Peace.